Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want to make the common man get what he supposed get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one. Maiyegun, you go show na paper. Maiyegun diary political.
Hello there. Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live. And thank you for joining me from wherever you are joining from as well. I decided to use all of the platforms today. So you might be watching me from just everywhere. Like, why is Maiyegun everywhere? I'm live on Twitter, I'm live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Diaspora Radio, international. You can listen all across board. So you're welcome. I decided to bring this up again this afternoon simply because it has always been what it is. However, those of us who know the trick and the game, the old diversion and then a distraction that comes with when you challenge them with the truth that is beyond them. I am talking about these extremists, these terrorist apologists in power in Nigeria, and those who have now turned it into the North versus the South, Muslim versus Christian. Everyone who is now defending pandemic, Isa pandemic. Buhari's Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. Nigeria under Buhari handed over your own data, everything about you was handed over to the terrorists. Who knows where you live? Who knows who you speak to? Who knows what you have in your bank? Who knows where you go to? They can do anything whenever they want because they have access to every goddamn thing. That is where ISA pandemic came in. There are so many unraveling information coming up to let you know that when they begin to turn this to the North versus the South, that is what they do. When they want to defend Abacha, they turn it into the North versus the South. Whenever they want to defend any corrupt terrorist in the North, they will turn it into the North versus the South, or the Muslim versus the Christian. However, the incompetence and the criminality of Boko Haram has become so, the stench from incompetence of Boko Haram and its jihadist fellows is so strong that even those who are Muslims are not safe. And here we are. The people who identify us as infidels, the people who call us infidels, who don't believe, once you don't believe in their type of Allah, you are an infidel. But when it is much convenient, you are one Nigeria. While they slaughter and kill innocent people, don't talk about it. The moment you start talking about it, then you hate the North. You probably have an Islamophobia. You are Islamophobic, or maybe you hate Islam. But hello, you have a jihadist, a terrorist apologist in power, in charge of all the information that has to do with the national security, private and personal information in the hand of terrorist sympathizer. And here we are. Pantami or pandemic will stay. Nobody will send him away. Of course, no one will send him away, but something is going to happen because the person that hired him, the terrorist in chief that hired him, was told, don't be deceived. And the reason why you have to watch my video is this. There are people paid to make you think what you heard or what you see is not right. Even though they won't give you any other alternative facts, they just want to appeal to your emotion through your religion, tribe, and they can use all manner of trick to play that on you to divert your attention from the real issue. Meanwhile, while your attention is diverted, the killings continue, the destruction continue, and when you talk about it, they can gaslight you. We are going to take this bit by bit. There was a time in 2012, Isa Pantami, Isa pandemic is not a strange fellow to the security community in Nigeria. They know him very well. He is the Shekau that went to Harvard. Do you understand? He is like the version of Shekau that went to Harvard, who can just garnish his own terror inclination with little grammar, blush here and there, and make it look like it is moderate. Isa Pantami has been a regular terror suspect, but in the northern Nigeria, he is a respected jihadist. All of his antecedents, they are all attached to extremism. When he was the chief imam of the university in Bauchi, this same guy orchestrated and issued a fatwa. When they issue a fatwa on you, that means it is a death sentence. Whatever offense you have committed, once they have issued a fatwa on you, you will be killed, whatever it takes. And no authority can stop them. And this is what happened in Bauchi, where young students, Christians, were slaughtered and killed on what was called an insurrection generated, orchestrated, and engineered by Isa Pantami, Isa pandemic. He got away with it. but people died. It grew in leaps and bounds and made so many other extremists, or let me say some other extreme religious allegiance. And it wasn't a boy. You know, when he came out, they asked him, when this whole thing started coming out, he said then when he was just 13 years old, Pantami was preaching about how to kill infidels, how to kill, and he said, whenever unbelievers are killed, they rejoice because it is the right thing to do. So many insurrections that happened in Jos, happened in Bauchi, happened in so many other states in northern Nigeria, on record. They were orchestrated by the likes of Pantami, as well as Sheikh Ugumi, the national coordinator of the bandits in Nigeria. These were the instruments of extremism in northern Nigeria, on record. And today, one of them is a minister in charge of all the information about the country. Pantami appeared at a meeting. They call it GNI or JCI, whatever. It has to do with Islamic group in northern Nigeria. And at that meeting, they concluded that being led and being ruled by any other believer apart from a Muslim is unacceptable. And they issued a fatwa, a jihad, on a sitting governor of Kaduna State. So in Kaduna, 2 years after they issued the fatwa on that governor, the man crashed and died in a plane crash with the another defense chief, Azaz, you remember him, who also crashed in that helicopter crash, then chopper crash. It was 2 years after these guys began the process and the journey. I'm talking about 2012 now, and then Boko Haram have started their killing. That was the journey to 2015. Oh, that was how Boko Haram emerged, and in compensation for that, despite all of the evidence against Pantami of his affiliation and his connection to terrorists and terrorism, Boko Haram told DSS to ignore all of that, and he handed him the power of your data. In 2012, I'm going to manage to read this out. Very tiny. I've done a bit of editing to make sure that the printout came out. This is their memo. After that meeting in Kaduna, I'll read it out for some of us who this might look so tiny for you. Minutes of a joint meeting of the JNI of 4 states consisting of Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Niger State, held in Bauchi Central Mosque on the 13th July 20. In fact, it was 2010. Chaired by Malam Ali Ibrahim Pantami. This meeting is born out of the growing. Let me see. Okay. This meeting is born out of the growing antagonism, hardship, and how the Christians in Nigeria are attacking and despising the religion of Allah. The worrisome issue is that the South and the West of Nigeria is predominantly Christians, whom Muslims are considered as animals. However, in the northern part of Nigeria, which is predominantly Muslim, the Christians want to still take over. The main aim of this meeting is to address the growth and the spread of Christianity in the north. B, receive reports of the treatment meted against the religion of Allah in some parts of the north, especially Plateau State. Re-strategize towards the full implementation of Jihad in Jos, Plateau, and as well as Kaduna State. D, the liberation of Kaduna State. As stated earlier, Christianity is fast growing in the northern part of this country, which is totally uncalled for. We are aware that Christianity has humiliated Islam in the Southwest. Thus, Islam can no longer thrive there. We are treated with contempt and as non-Nigerians in that part of the country. Furthermore, the Christians brought out a scheme so as to get to get liberated in the north. They brought what they called middle belt. This middle belt carved all Christians. This middle belt carved all the Christians dominated areas and is being championed by the Plateau bigwigs. The Christians, the Christian has grown, has now extended not only in remote areas of the north, but inside the cities as against the wishes of our Islamic leaders, who are no more. It should be noted that our leaders, like the great Sardauna Tafawa Balewa, Alhaji Abubakar Gumi, Alhaji Shehu Maigadu, Malam Isaac, Ramalas, etc., admonished us not to allow a church built in city in the north. This is because it is against the Quran for a church standing close in rivalry with a mosque. It is also their wish that part of the north be dominated and ruled by Muslims. It will afford the north the opportunity to practice Sharia laws, while other part of the country, let me see the other part. Other part of the country, let's see. Well, I'm gone. They are so badly, typed. However, here's the other part. There is no existing plan policy by governor. This is about the governor of Plateau State at the time. There is no existing plan and policy by Governor Jang and his government to wipe out any Muslim in Jos through the blah, 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 his master plan, whatever, Jos master plan, placing a placing a ban on motorcycle operation, disallowing our traders to trade freely, and unnecessarily arrest of our youth. No Muslim is given employment with the Plateau State government. The government of Plateau has ordered that Plateau State Water Board to stop pumping water in areas, in places that are predominantly Muslim, right? So let's go to the next chapter there. The Muslim Ummah in Jos has solemnly resolved to fight the governor, his government, and the entire Christians in any way possible. They shall never support their government, and they will destroy any development that shall come to Plateau, even the existing ones. Again, they are ready for jihad in the state, as we have presently secured the ordered arms, something like that. Over 3,000 foreign arms have now entered Jos, and we will not vote during the governorship election, for we shall restore the have the position of the federal. Well, it's a badly written story. It's a badly printed content. It's online. It's everywhere, right? This was how they stated or started the jihad in Plateau, in Bauchi. This was way back in 2010. 2 years later, in 2012, the governor of Kaduna State was killed in a plane crash, right? And you know what happened after? El Rufaya became the governor of Kaduna State in 2015. And since then, the Christian communities in southern Kaduna, they have been slaughtered. You remember this young lady, Arotile, that was killed by this same jihadist in government. They have information about her flight. They have information about where she had to fly to and bomb terrorists. Arotile was killed while she was summoned into the Air Force headquarters in Kaduna. Titilope Arotile was summoned to Kaduna. They said she has been killing too many terrorists. However, she was invited back to Kaduna while she was in their camp, military barrack, Air Force base. So they said her friends who saw her at the base, who haven't, seen her for a very long time, they decided to reverse the car to come and greet her. So while they were reversing the car, the reverse car hit her and she died right there at the spot. She was known to have been, one of the best air pilots, fighter pilots in Nigerian Air Force. That's what they do. How do you think they got her information? It's because somebody in high place, people in high places have information of those they want to take out, and they take them out without a wimp. Do you get that now? That is the state of Nigeria. And Tolulope Arotile, they killed her. And today the case is pretty much like more or less dead today. Now, Pantami, who happens to be a career terrorist, he would have been in the forest because there was a time that he was praying so hard so that God will help them destroy PDP, so that he will have the opportunity. And when they were praying to destroy PDP, they were not actually destroying PDP. They just wanted to send an infidel away. Who was that infidel? Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan is considered an infidel. Whatever he does for them, anything goodwill he has for them, he is an infidel. And they all agree that he's an infidel. He has to go. It all started this way. Who is this Pantami? A terrorist in government. Watch this.
haƙƙi ne akan shugabannin musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan malaman musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan 'yan siyasan musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan ma'aikata gwamnatin musulmai, haƙƙi ne akan jami'an tsaro musulmai. Dole su tsaya su ga an bi kadun jinin 'yan uwanmu da aka zubar, dole su tsaya su ga an bi kadun 'yan uwan jininmu da aka cuta. Jinin alade ya fi shi daraja. Duk da yaran nan 'yan Boko Haram sun yi laifi, amma kisan da aka musu adalci ne. Ka duba yadda ake kwantar da mutane, yadda ka san aladu ana harbe su. Idan sun yi laifi me yasa za extrajudicial killings? A kai su gaban hukuma mana a hukunta su. Ka kama mutum yana kwance kana kashe shi. In ba musulmi ba ake wannan, mutanen Neja Delta sun yi wannan, sun kashe jami'an tsaro, sun saci mukamai, sun kashe turawa, sun yi kidnapping turawa, amma kun karbe su, kun bude musu ministry, kun sa musu minista, kun ba su albashi, suna daukar salari ba sa aiki. Laifin su bai kai na waɗannan 'yan Boko Haram ba. Amma me yasa za a yi haka? Me yasa ake selective justice?
Don haka mu a fahimtar muna roƙon Allah ya kai mu ran da hatta kuɗin da ke aljihu mu za a cire hoto a jiki. Don taswiri kwata-kwata ba ma buƙatar sa duniya sai dai a darura. Amma hatta wannan ba ka da ƙaulin malami ɗaya a duniya da ya ce halal ne. Sai dai kawai darura. To Allah ya fitar da mu a cikin wannan. Mu kai matakin da kuɗi ma mun fi ƙarfin taswiri. Ba ma buƙatar taswiri a jiki. A addinin mu taswiri ko hoton sahabi ne ai ba addini bane ajiyewa. So da hatta wannan Allah ya kai mu da wannan Gregorian date kalendar arna da ke jikin kuɗi, Allah ya ce wa ma qataluhu wa ma salabuhu walakin shubbiha lahum, na an kashe Isa alayhi salam, duk wannan ba mu bukatar sa, kuma in Allah ba mu dama duk za a gusar da shi insha Allah ta'ala. A wannan lokaci abin da aka tura wannan mulki sai zama kasar ta samu kanta cikin wani rikici. An yi yunkurin tura mulkin amma kuma sai sabbaba wani irin tashin hankali. To the extent that sai kafirai suka fara yunkurin shigowa kasar su yi dominating kasar Afghanistan. Saboda a koda yaushe kuke addini, kuke nutsuwa, kuke bautawa Allah, kuke karantar da addinin Allah, abokanan gaban mu kafirai, musamman a sahun gaba USA, United States of America, wannan iya tayar musu hankali. A koda yaushe sukan yi kokari su dan yi likimo, suna ga ina za su samu damar launching attack a kanku.
Taraba is a mini state. It's a mini Nigeria. composed of various ethnic groups living together reasonably peacefully. But the peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and, of course, in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. The ethnic cleansing must stop in Taraba state. It must stop in all the states of Nigeria. Otherwise, Somalia will be a child's play. I ask every one of you to be alert and defend your country, defend your territory, defend your state. You have nowhere else to go.
Because the jihadists, they have taken over. David Undeyin, who helped us unravel, unearth these. It's not, all these expository, all these expositions, right? They've always been there, but they are hidden in plain sight. It's not that they didn't tell Bokwari, right? It's not because they didn't tell, they told him. The DSS, they know him. Everyone knows them. All of the jihadists, all the terrorists that they have rehabilitated. You can't rehabilitate terrorists. And you cannot change that to the North versus the South. Pantami is a terrorist. Bokwari is a terrorist. If you defend them, you are a terrorist. How hard is that for you? People have been killed. Information, vital information. You read it everywhere. Military being ambushed. By who? Barracks being attacked. By Boko Haram. No intel, no information, no nothing. They walk in, they walk out. And then when they are gone, the military comes in, they start their bragging. Does that not tell you something is wrong? It's because they have the people inside who are doing the job. And now the person in charge is somebody with the real data. All of our data, Abi, because I still have Nigerian passport too. My data is with a terrorist. I'm not going to that country. Forget it. Not when these terrorists are still there. No. David Undeyin shed more light. And I think you should listen to him. I'm planning to bring him on Maiyegun's Diary, Political, very soon. Listen to this.
About on the minister's statement and what you have heard his friend Dr. Kabir Kabo, what he said tonight.
Well, I'll start with what Dr. Kabo has said tonight. I find it very interesting that, first of all, the minister didn't want to appear by himself, and he sent somebody to front for him. And this person has come on the show and has spent 7 minutes speaking a lot of English and hasn't actually said anything. I found it very interesting that he said that there has not been a shred of evidence. That's a very interesting comment because there has been nothing but evidence, right? I have written two 2,000-word investigative articles, extensively referenced with audio, with links to academic resources, with eyewitness reports. So I'm not sure what Dr. Kabo is on about when he says there's no evidence. There's a lot of evidence. And if he's not aware of the evidence, he's free to Google the evidence. There's a lot of it. If he's here to dissemble, that's a different matter. I can't help it. But going back to your first question, which was what sense do I have of what Isa Pantami has said. I just want to point out, first of all, that this goes beyond the singular speech that Isa Pantami delivered on September 12, 2006 in Bauchi State called the Siwaye and Taliban, which is where the audio extract that we're listening to came from. Isa Pantami has a long history of making incendiary comments and taking actions that lead to deaths, right? It is not a conspiracy theory to say that Isa Pantami is an Islamic extremist. He is an Islamic extremist, and he has always had that whiff around him throughout his career. I mean, there's a WikiLeaks cable from 2009 confirming that he was thrown out of his position as chief imam at mosque at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University for sparking a religious crisis, right? And there is history there. So Dr. Kabo, if he's not aware of this, is free to Google this and read up on this. This is very well known, right? The reason that these comments have raised a furor of recent is because the audio file showed up on the internet recently, and for the first time, it was possible to independently verify that these things, which he has always been accused of, actually happened. He actually said those things. And I also want to correct the impression that this was a long time ago and his opinion has evolved over time. Dr. Pantami was born on October 20, 1972. That speech in particular was delivered on September 12, 2006, which means that he was 33 years and 11 months old. The person talking right now is 30 years and 11 months old. So Dr. Pantami was 3 years older than I am presently when he was making that speech. So he wasn't any kind of child. Let's be very clear about this. He knew exactly what he was saying. He was not a child when he was saying it. And those kind of opinions don't just evolve over time. Now, I want to quickly read out a segment from one of the quotes that he made during that speech. And I want Dr. Kabo to answer me, honestly, if he thinks that this segment is compatible with the idea of running a secular state, a multi-ethnic and multi-religious state. He says, and therefore we are praying to God that based on our understanding, we pray for a day when the images on the notes in our pockets will be removed. No Muslim cleric has ever spoken against these images as forbidden. May we be self-sufficient enough not to need this currency. It is against the religion to put even the images of the companions of the Prophet on the currency. May Allah help us to see that day when the Gregorian calendar, the calendar of the infidels that is on the notes, is removed. And that day is coming when it will certainly be removed. Now, I want Dr. Kabo to explain to me how this aim, which is essentially to remove the secularity of the Nigerian state, to take the images off the Naira notes, and to change from the Gregorian calendar, which we all use, to the Islamic calendar. I want him to explain to me how that differs significantly from the aims and aspirations of Boko Haram. As I've said previously on other mediums, the only disagreement between Isa Pantami and Mohammed Yusuf or Abubakar Shekau is the method that they want to use to achieve their Islamic utopian state. It's only the method that they disagree on. They are both extremists and they both have the same goals, right? There was a paper in 2017 published by the United States Institute of Peace, which I linked in both of my articles, actually, if Dr. Kabo can be bothered to Google them, which delineated the difference between the Al-Qaeda approach to Islamic terrorism and the ISIS/Boko Haram approach to Islamic terrorism. The ISIS/Boko Haram approach is more immediate, it's more flashbang. They want to use violence to create an Islamic utopian theocracy right now, which is what they're doing. They're going out and killing people to do that. Al-Qaeda prefers to use something called gradualism. They prefer to adopt a gradualist approach where they use the political levers of state, the instruments of states, the instruments of politics and education, as they put it, of Muslim faithful to push them away from moderate Islam toward extremism. The goals are both the same. They both have the same existential goals. So whether it's 6 or it's half a dozen, you are going to end up in the same destination anyway. So this idea that, we somehow fundamentally misunderstand Isa Pantami and, it's because we don't have some deep theological underpinning in Islam. Well, we're not illiterate. And I would really like it if Dr. Kabo didn't come on the show to insult our intelligence, because that's what he spent about 7 minutes doing.
All right, great. So before I allow Dr. Kabo to respond to some of the things that you have raised.
I hope that makes sense better because he's more kind of clearer than me. He did his research. He released his content. We followed through and they've never stopped, releasing them. What they are trying to make us do now is that we shouldn't see it that way. Oh, he was too young when he was making those statements. Oh, you know, he's now learned more. He's a very grown-up man. It's a lie. Do you know that as the Ministry of Communication, they are the ministry to tell you about what Nigeria is doing, Abi? It's a pandemic. When he commissioned a TV station to be in charge of reporting Nigeria and the activities of government of Nigeria, he gave it to a Facebook page, an Islamic Facebook blogger. Are you with me? Go on YouTube and search for Sefini or something like that. Sefini Communication, which says we are Islamic television. There's nothing wrong in that. But somebody is in power and he gave the job to report Nigeria and the activities of government of Nigeria to Nigerians using your money. And he gave that job to a blogger. It's like somebody, even me, I will do a better job. You know me, I don't get religion. I will report your Islam, report your Christianity, report the Babalawo, report the Mamalawo, report the brother Lawo and sister Lawos, everybody. You know, I'll do a better job. I've got the audience and all of that. He gave you to go on YouTube, go and check for it. Sefini or something. Commissioned though in the Ministry of Communication. Right? And those ones, go and read about their headlines of what they are releasing. The videos. Just like NTA. As Nigeria is burning, NTA is showing you Ramadan Karim. They are showing you Arugungu Festival. They are showing you that Bukwari just had his first shit in this morning. And it was great. You know, it was great. It was so good. That's the same thing Pantami is doing. And this is what they wanted. The Islamization that Shekau wants, the Islamization that Bukwari wants, Pantami wants, Shekau Gumi wants, and the rest of those criminals who are selling you One Liejiriya is the same, different approach. And if they told you that nobody told the Bukwari about it, it's a lie. Listen to this man.
Dr. Pantami became a minister in 2019. He went through the usual screenings of DSS, Senate screening, and all that. How come none of this came up? Is it not an indictment on the SSS that someone with this kind of past was allowed to not just only head NIPDA, but went ahead to become the minister?
Maybe there is something you may want to know as a journalist, and I'll tell you. There is no information that escapes the DSS. We have all of it. All. You know, especially when I was working there. Because we keep a catalog of anybody of interest that comes up to limelight in this country. Now, one thing is this. During the, what do we call it, the vetting process, for anybody to be appointed a minister or a commissioner or whatever, your name is sent to the SSS to be vetted. They check your background up to the extent of your grandmother. They check your schools up to the extent of your nursery school. And of course, they keep a tab on you. Things are even better now. Because I know before, when I was in service, we don't have the advantage of the internet. But now we can actually, without stepping out, before we step out of the door, to be able to get a lot of information from open source intelligence. And I can tell you that, in this case, they have it. But there is another political angle to it. Remember, there are two important aspects. One, when somebody is being appointed, his name, if the security agencies see that there's something wrong with his name, they will send it to the appointing agency. The appointing agency will now decide, among other variables, either religious variable, federal character, balancing variable, political variable, and say that, oh yes, we know that this guy has this, that, but let's appoint him. Do you understand? So that political decision is not taken by the SSS. And then, of course, even when you go to the Senate for confirmation, there is party by party. And you can see, even there are some candidates who the opposition party said this man will not be, appointed. But because he belongs to that party, they will appoint him. So these are political, ethnic, federal, maybe federal character balancing, where they will say, oh, there is nobody from this place that have been appointed before, so let's appoint him. So these things do happen.
So you say you believe that the DSS must have sent all its findings to the appropriate authorities, that is, the presidency and to the Senate, on this issue?
Oh, definitely. Whoever they are reporting to will have the details. Now, remember, the confirmation of the former EFCC chairman, Magu. Magu's report was written because it was demanded. We want to confirm this guy, give us a report on him. They gave. But you saw what happened. He was presented twice or so. The first time they said, oh, from this report from the SSS, we are not going to confirm it. The president resubmitted. And just like I told you, there might be other considerations.
It's just the trick, known trick by everyone. That is how he became the minister. They have a job for him, and that's the job he's doing. He's doing it. He prayed for it, man.
Allahumma alayka bi PDP. Allahumma alayka bi PDP. Allahumma alayka bi PDP wa sa'ir al-jam'iyyat al-kafira. Allahumma alayka bi PDP wa sa'ir al-jam'iyyat al-kafira.
And he became the minister. So if they are now telling you that it's not going anywhere, he's doing the job they brought him to do. We're just not going to be part of it. We will not be their own, what do you call it? We won't be the specimen in their lab. Whatever Islamization agenda or other nonsense they are bringing, wherever, maybe it's Fulanization, whatever agenda that is now killing our people is rejected with everything. And no matter what they list it, call it North versus South. Call it whatever you want to call it. Nigeria is going to break up. I know it can be so difficult to take that in, don't you think? Okay, Nigeria is going to break up either peacefully or violently, because there is already a jihad. To stop the jihad, we have to start our own jihad to fight their jihad, push their jihad back, take ourselves away, and then watch us. If Nigeria will break, or Nigeria will make it. How long and for how long, we are about to find out. Because I don't think a country going through this should ever, in anyone in his own right senses, or right senses, right, should demand for such country to continue to do what?
I'd like to congratulate the US State Department for designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern under the International Religious Freedom Act. And it's also encouraging the International Criminal Court has called for an inquiry into war crimes and crimes against humanity in Nigeria. These are much needed recognitions of the horrific situation with terror, thousands of killings, abductions, atrocities, loss of loved ones, homes and livelihoods on a massive scale, as we've heard, in the northern states, Central Belt, and is now moving further south. As CEO of Humanitarian Aid Relief Trust, I've had the painful privilege of visiting many times some of the worst affected areas and have heard directly from survivors of attacks. They have shared with immense bravery and with tears their personal tragedies. As pictures speak louder than words and stay long after many words disappear, I wish to invite you to spend just a few minutes traveling with me to meet one or two of the people and see examples of the destruction inflicted on their communities. So I'd love to show a brief PowerPoint, if I may, and thank very much the competence of the staff here. The theory is Nigeria, Unfolding Genocide. That is the title of the all-party parliamentary group on Nigeria, which was published earlier this year. Next slide, please. Just examples of the tragic statistics. Since 2020, Boko Haram killed 43,000. Islamist Fulani killed 19,000. So that should be 2015, I'm sorry. Since June 2015, 12,000 Christians have been killed, 2,000 churches burnt. January to June this year, in southern Kaduna, 300 Christians have been massacred, and many more since then. And May this year, 350 Igbo villages occupied by Fulani herders and Shua Arab mercenaries. And the figures have increased enormously since then, including in recent weeks, as we've already heard. Next slide, please. Just to meet some of the people and see the situations. This is a church in Kaduna State, and I'm afraid it could be an example of so many churches destroyed. This was a town in Kaduna State where there were 3 churches, the Roman Catholic Church, the Anglican, and Ekwa. They were all destroyed like this. Next slide, please. And this is a village on Saddle Belt, and 4 villages have been attacked. You see the destruction behind. Many had to flee, but those who couldn't flee were left there. This is a pastor who stayed back to look after the ones who couldn't flee, but they were living in perpetual danger. Next slide, please. And in the same village, the pastor was killed in his own home. This is the remains of his home, and it makes one feel extremely humble standing in the home of someone who say recently died for their faith, as so many thousands have in Nigeria. Next slide, please. And this is an example of a typical destruction of a village or a small town, everything destroyed, homes, shops, nothing left. Next slide, please. And this is an example of the kind of atrocities perpetrated over and above the massacres and the killings. This young lady, Veronica, she tried to run away when her village was attacked by the Fulani. She ran with her 6-year-old daughter, but they ran into a group of Islamist Fulani who were surrounding the village. They surrounded her and her daughter. They slashed her on the neck and shoulder with a machete. I've seen the scars. And then they said, your daughter would love to suck her mother's finger. So as you see, they amputated her forefinger and she passed out. And when she came round, her little 6-year-old daughter was lying dead next to her with her mother's finger stuck into her mouth. This is, you can't put this down to climate change. These are atrocities with an intent to perpetrate terror. Next slide, please. And just hugging, what else can you do in situations like that? Next slide, please. And this is a mass grave in another village. All the men in the village who were caught were slaughtered, and we're just paying our tribute at the mass grave together with the bishop of that particular part of Kaduna State. Next slide, please. And drawing to an end, this is a statement from Archbishop Ben Kwashi, the Archbishop in Plateau State, based in Jos. He says, if we have a faith worth living for, it's a faith worth dying for. Don't you, that's us, compromise the faith that they are living and dying for. They are living and dying for their faith. There's concerns with UK government, with questions, debates, evidence to inquiries, and recently by the publication of a report which reference has already been made by the all-party parliamentary group for freedom of religion and belief, and it was entitled, saw earlier, Nigeria, Unfolding Genocide, ? That report records thousands of civilians who've been killed in attacks led by Islamist Fulani militia and periodic retaliatory violence. And if I may, I'd like to submit that for the record, as well as the report of our most recent visit. So drawing to a conclusion, to date, UK government's response has been woefully inadequate, I'm sorry to say. Even as militant groups such as Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa Province sweep across the Sahel, imposing their radical ideologies with violence on those who refuse to comply, and that includes Muslims as well as Christians. UK government appears to underplay the scale of the massacres. They put it down to climate change or desertification. Well, they may be factors, but they refuse to acknowledge that a possible genocide may be occurring. And the Nigerian government also has been seriously remiss in protecting its civilians and bringing perpetrators of killings to account, as we have already heard. So I conclude saying that at present, the reports of killings and abductions continue, as we again already heard, just in the last few days. But the 2 initiatives by the United States and the International Criminal Court may bring perpetrators of genocidal activities to account and bring, at long last, some light to the people of Nigeria at the end of a very long tunnel of suffering and potential genocide. Thank you for letting me share the pain and the passion.
Thank you so very much, Baroness Cox, for your lifelong leadership, but for your great work in Nigeria. It benefits this commission tremendously, and your full statement and materials will be made a part of the record to share with.
That is not all right? After the Bauchi meeting that led to these endless killings, profiling, and takeover of government, here is another part you should watch.
Even agrarian, even with the disputes with the herders and the farmers, there is much opportunity in Nigeria. So I want to put this number on the record again from the Statistical Risk Assessment that says Nigeria as a whole faces a 7.3% risk of experiencing a new mass killing by the end of 2021, making it the 6th highest in the world. I think that is a stark number that goes alongside of the idea of being killed because of your religion or because of your profession, farmer or herder, or being killed because of the absence of the government. So I want to raise this question with Ambassador Brownback, Ambassador Tan. And Ambassador Tan, I really, as an expert in criminal justice, I happen to be senior member on the subcommittee on crime on judiciary and spent a lot of time on international terrorism and other issues. But I want you to answer from the perspective of the issue of crime. And then to Ambassador Assistant Secretary Destro. So I'll start with Ambassador Brownback. The question is, what is the Nigerian government not doing? What has the Nigerian government not paid attention to legislatively? Dr. King said, I may not be able to change hearts, but I can change laws. My opening remark says that the government, to my understanding and belief, we have President Buhari. I've known all the presidents for the last 20 years plus. President Buhari has recently been elected. He is a Muslim. Why has there not been any effective government interaction on behalf of its own citizens who stand one after another to be kidnapped for ransom, to be killed, to have boys who are trying to go to school taken, to have girls who are trying to go to school taken and their virginity taken away from them? So what is it that they are not doing, or what are they doing? Ambassador Brownback?
It's a tough one, right? That they are discussing about what is going on in Nigeria and what is still going to happen. But Nigerian Senate, they are discussing how to get NIN, National Identification Number for cows. And they are already discussing it in the National Assembly. Watch this other part too of this deliberation.
Very direct question that most of us have been asking the Nigerian government to act more aggressively to bring to account the people that are committing these crimes. When I toured and traveled to Nigeria and met with government officials and individuals in the society, they're saying all these crimes are happening and nobody's ever brought to justice. They're not prosecuted. They're not providing security for their own people. You could go to many areas and find villages that had been just attacked and targeted, and no police there, and no response. And then you get these communal reprisal acts that happen. People offer, some other places offer help, and then it's not accepted by the Nigerian government. And then there just seems to be either this lack of will or ability or both to address what we deem to be a growing and very in a bad problem. And that if it gets out of control, you could see really a number of other additional things take place. So that's why, the secretary, I believe, put them as a country of particular concern this year, because they tolerated the situation. It wasn't as much of government action, but it was inaction and tolerating these terrible circumstances that we need the Nigerians to get more aggressive to respond to.
Thank you. Ambassador Tan?
Yes, thank you, Representative and Commissioner Jackson Lee. Really appreciate your concern.
You heard that, yeah? They tolerated it. We have been saying it forever. And I'm happy that the right people are getting the attention. They are getting to it. So you see all of these guys, some of them, now Guantanamo Bay, they went. All of you, terrorist enablers. I know you are jumping up and down. When you talk to them, they say, my friend, you hated your Pantami because Pantami want to catch terrorists. Go and do your NIN. Don't worry. You will be writing letters to your pandemic in Guantanamo Bay. Okay? Yes, they have the touch of that, guns and bullets now, Abi. They have the power, Abi. By the time everything collapsed, they will pick them up one by one. And we will see some of you Buhari idiots that are going to join them in Guantanamo Bay. Terrorists are in charge of Nigeria. They are going to change Nigeria money at some point. And yes, they will send all of us away. They will kill as many as they want. And the government tolerates it. Do you even understand what that means? It's like saying Shekau is in charge of your country. It's just bidding its time. And some dumbbells, some dunderheads, they want to like, go and do your NIN. Go and register your NIN. Haven't you registered yours? How come they have not stopped the killing? I mean, what do you call this that happened in Kaduna yesterday?
Yesterday, Tuesday, 20th April 2021, at around 8:30 p.m., Kaduna State Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs received a distress call from Greenfield University, located at Kasarami village off Kaduna Abuja route. Troops of Operation Thunder Strike and Operation Puff Adder were mobilized to the location. After search and rescue, the school management and security agencies on the ground inform Kaduna State government that a staff of the university was killed here, and some students were also kidnapped. As you can see, we are going around the institution. Security agencies are also working in the general area. For now, this is the information that we can give, but be rest assured that we will keep you informed.
Terrorists have taken over. So how come your Pantami is unable to track the terrorists? Oh, they didn't do NIN. Don't worry. You will stand with pandemic. You will stand with Boko Haram once you become a victim too. You are not safe from it. It's obvious. Allah will not save you from anything, any goddamn thing. Don't deceive yourself. Don't be stupid enough to think one Allah is the one that is saving you right now. You are running away from bullets when your government that promised you safety, peace of mind, where are they? Even Boko Haram, and you know, they told you, say Sunday will go better, and for Saturday we go down the see Saturday evening. Say that Sunday night. I mean, any Saturday we go do okay. Now from Friday you go down the see the sign. Say, oh boy, will I say that Saturday go bam? It's not this thunderhead.
Let's play Who Wants to Be Our President? Question 1 for House of Assembly. What is the full meaning of APC?
All Progressive Confidence.
Sorry. But the correct answer is All Progressive Congress for the seat of the Vice President. What is the name of the current vice presidential candidate of the APC?
Professor Yemi Osunbade.
Wrong again. The answer is Professor Yemi Osinbajo for the seat of the President of Nigeria. What is the full meaning of INEC?
Independent Nigerian Electoral Commission.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Sorry. The answer is Independent National Electoral Commission. Sorry, but you've finished all your lifelines on Who Wants to Be Our President. Please, try again some other time. Thank you.
A cold-hearted animal who was a settler. Well, I don't know, maybe he was, but he's been living and feeding fat on your money. His children, his wife lives in Dubai. Doesn't care, give a damn about any of you. If you want to die, die. If they kidnap you, they kidnap you. If you die of hunger or die of bandit, whatever it is, they will be sending love to you from abroad. Their children schooled abroad. They asked the cold-hearted mannequin. Parents who legitimately made their money and sent their children out of the rotten, destroyed education in Nigeria, which your government is not going to do anything about, but to make wars. They can't sponsor their children abroad. You've destroyed the whole thing. But your own children are studying abroad. How is that possible? A cold-hearted animal.
Obviously those who are slightly more privileged, like yourself, you've got children studying abroad. There are parents in Nigeria with kids in universities and schools abroad who are now facing the possibility of having to pull their kids out. They actually can no longer afford to make the payments for school fees.
Well, if the country cannot afford it, so be it.
But your children will continue their studies, no doubt.
No, those who can afford it can still afford it. But for those that can't, Nigeria can't allocate foreign exchange for all those that decided to train their children outside the country. We just can't afford it.
So it's tough luck.
Well, that's the true situation we are in.
A cold-hearted animal. I know you are proud of him. You should be proud. So the same way you are proud of Issa Pandemic, a terrorist in your government. And as they love to do, they either call you enemy of Islam, enemy of this, enemy of that. When you talk about that individual, lifeless breathing mannequin and his terror gang, when you say it, they will say what you are saying is going to cause wala. You are attacking the North. How can we expose terrorists? How can an expose on terrorists be an attack on the North? Are you not mad?
Let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Don't joke with what I'm saying. I have a PhD from Oxford University.
No worries, sir. We will come back to that, your PhD later, because I get this new pledge from these guys.
We pledge Nigeria is not our country. How can we be faithful, loyal, and honest to an expired country? To be a Nigeria is not by force. We don't defend our unity. We don't uphold our honor and glory. So break it, God.
Jigada, those guys are saying it, and that's what millions are also saying. Whatever agenda they are bringing, whatever you are defending, defend them. We now know the terrorist enablers and the terrorists in government, and we will not be part of it. And you will not blackmail us into it. You see those your guys in the south, those your guys in the south telling you that don't worry, we will make sure that anybody who is trying to break Nigeria, we crush them for you. They will run, they will roll, they will run, and at the end of the day, they will crash, just like what do you call it? Just like I have this guy. Where is he again? Yeah, like this. And you know why? Those who are enabling terrorism using religion, using some big fake, hey, that's deep. Baba, that one is deep. There's nothing deep for those who are defending terrorists. Like this Sheikh Ogumi, who is now comparing citizens of their own land. I'm a citizen of Oduduwa land. Do you understand what that means? It means I have my own country before they forced me to be part of, forced my own progenitors, my ancestors to be part of this fake One Liejiriya. You know what that means? Now, today, if I'm asking for my own country, where I believe that I will be respected, I'll be regarded, and I'll be protected, this terrorist, defending terrorist, is telling me that I should be compared to his brothers, killing, kidnapping, raping, and destroying everything on their path.
You don't think Nigeria splitting into Oduduwa, Republic, Biafra, and Arewa is the way out?
Let me tell you the truth. Like I have Yoruba in-laws myself. Yoruba in-laws, I have them. So one of my what do you call it? Their issues now. What do you call them? Do you call them a Hausa Fulani or you call them Yorubas? Who is coming to divide us and say those people should go back to? If you go to Lagos, if you go to okay, I usually give example. Murtala Mohammed, General Murtala Mohammed, the man from Kanu, the head of state that was assassinated by Dinka. His wife is a Yoruba woman. So where do you want his children to go if the nation is divided? Are they going to be with the Yorubas or are they going to be with the Hausas in the north? Look, let's forget this useless youth. They are no more different from these hardmen. These people agitating for Oduduwa and Biafra or Arewa or this Boko Haram. They are all the same group of people. Majority of Nigerians wants to stay Nigeria. And if they're in doubt, let's make a referendum. I can make a social... Look at the election. When the election in Nigeria...
That with the terrorist Sheikh Ogumi is talking about referendum. Is that not what we are talking about? Oh yeah, now choose a date now. Can't they do that? All of you Buhari idiots watching me, some of you, especially some of you on Facebook, look at me very well. Go on Google or carry your dictionary. Go and read what is the meaning of referendum, which means you too, you will vote. All right? You have a right to vote and say you want to be in Nigeria. It's your right. Referendum is not war. That you have become humble slave, obedient fool, sophisticated moron, or social media bandit, Facebook as man. Whatever you have become with your life, whatever Nigeria has done to you, go and read what is the meaning of referendum. Did you hear that from Gumi? If they want to, okay, let us try it. Let us do it. Give us a date. Spend your billions. Print more money. Tell your police to carry weapon. And let us go and do referendum. That's what we are asking. That is just what everybody is asking for. All of you who want to be part of Nigeria, you can vote and stay. But you know, the majority will have to leave. Then you can then choose when the people vote to leave. You who wants to be part of Nigeria, you can keep the name and just go and meet those who still want Nigeria because the majority will have their country. One Wiri is commenting there. He called himself Jeunsoke. I saw the comments now. Ashiwaju Jeunsoke, just like the Ashiwaju Awon Agberu, Ashiwaju Awon Wiri of Lagos. You want to, yeah, we are not Oduduwans, we are Yorubas. Oloribu. We are Oduduwans, and you can interpret us because it's a fusion of all of us as Yorubas. So of what difference is that? You will vote inside the election. Do you get that now? If you want to do a republic, if you want a Yoruba republic, whatever you want to say, you want to go, you will be given the right to vote. Not like the ones they will write for you. You unput, disgusting slaves, obedient fools, whose ideas of your own fathers brought you to this state. If your fathers were bright enough, let me tell you something. Maybe if our parents, and this is not insult to those who tried. I'm talking about those who have always been humbled, obedient slaves, and they passed it on to their children. You see all these old fools you are seeing on social media. Most of them, they came from that generation, the generation of humbled slaves. Ask them, what is the benefit of One Nigeria? They don't have an answer. But they are so strongly against that your Oduduwa Republic. They are so against that your Biafra Republic. Do you know why? Because they are born obedient. I mean, they are born to be obediently, enslaved psychologically. By the way, going to school has nothing to do with it too. There are so many other blind spots, so many other things blinding them, right? And when you ask them, what is referendum? How can referendum be war? How can government be arresting and killing people asking for referendum? Meanwhile, in their statement, they keep dropping the word referendum, referendum. Is that not something for all of us to decide? You want to be part of Nigeria, keep Nigeria, vote for Nigeria. It's a yes or no vote. So if Shekau Gumi, wants peace, or any peace at all, in fact, to have any peace at all, let the people decide. Not people from Futa Jalon, Futa Joro, Ati Futa Sahel, wherever they come from. It's so insulting for somebody to sit somewhere and then say a country, Nigeria, is built to be united. United with what? By who? All of you want to break Nigeria, Oloshi, because of a bag of rice, because of councillorship, or because of political appointment, Oluribu Arai. Because of that, because of whatever they are going to pay you, 100,000, 30,000, 40,000 appointments, contract 1 million, 2 million, or maybe the small change you have managed to make from it. Now, Oduduwa Republic doesn't make sense to you. It is One Nigeria that makes sense to you because what are you saying? Shut up. We are saying, if you want to vote for Nigeria, what we are asking is, let us do a referendum. Let the people decide. They've told you now, next 4 years, free food. Go and vote for Tifnumbu. And all of you, Yoruba, I know you are watching me right now, and I'm saying this to you in Yoruba. Jati, what your own fathers, pass on to you. That cowardice is what you are passing to your children. And you are so proud. You're so proud of it. Now, when we are talking about Yoruba and we are talking about Nigeria, if you are not a bastard, let's be sincere, which comes first? Most of your bunch of thieves, freeloaders. Once you take politics out, you are useless. There's nothing else to do. No education, no real education, no real training, no skill, no nothing. So when they talk about break Nigeria, your blood pressure will rise. You start becoming philosophical. You start telling us how we are beneficial in Nigeria, how Nigeria is this and that. And you are getting old, Abby. Handing that over to your children to continue to be enslaved in a contraption that doesn't even guarantee them any education or anything else for the future other than the crumbs that you bastards are sharing. I'm not ashamed. I mean, I'm not sorry to say that to you. because I have to say it to you, because some of you are watching your screen. I want you to look at me very closely. That Maiyegun called you the One Liejiriya, and I'll continue to remind you. Which one should come first? Your immediate environment and your people? Or Nigeria, which these criminals don't give a damn about? And when they talk about the dual republic, you go philosophical. You have an idea. You start calling people names. You want to defend Nigeria simply because of what they are going to give you. Again, every 4 years, free food, free food. You can continue to do your all right, sirs. Continue to do your lazy about freeloading, scrounging job, begging, because that's what you are doing. You are living off what? You are living off the free money that can come out of politics. And then it doesn't really make you better. Look around you. Worse off than ever. So you can tell us what's the difference between Yoruba and Oduduwa, and continue to bring in such confusion. We need to clear it. We need to explain what to you. Are you that dumb? Are you that dumb that you're already messed up in that country for being part of it? What is that excuse? Faith, Abi. Olórí ibu ló pọ̀ jù nù yín, olórí burúkú ló pọ̀ jù nù yín. Orí burúkú yín, ẹ ti fi kó bá millions, ẹ ti fi kó bá ara yín, ẹ ti fi kó bá millions. Ẹ̀yin aṣièrè yìí náà dẹ̀ rí o. Ẹ rí pé bóyá ń ṣe nǹkan kan tó jẹ́ ìbàjẹ́ fọjọ́ iwájú àwọn ọmọ tí yín. Even táyé tí yín bá ti bàjẹ́, ṣe fẹ́ bá yé àwọn ọmọ yín jẹ́, ẹ fẹ́ ti bà táyé àwọn ọmọ tí yín náà jẹ́. A lady comedian died just yesterday. Her name is Ada Jesus, right? She's just 23 years old. She was given birth to sometime late 1998. I was telling many of you, I told you that you have a population in Nigeria that 53% of that population are the people who they gave birth to from 1999 to date. Those are the people who makes up the 53% of the population. These are the people that they had no plans for. You have the Efik there, you have the Ijos there, you have the Yorubas there, you have the Igbos there, you have the Hausa's children there. All these people given birth to, there was no plan for them. And you Nigeria is still pretty much interesting to you. Nigeria is the best thing. We are good together and die together. There are people who are not going to take it. And that is why when you see them on the street, and I'll continue to associate myself with those who believe that to save Nigeria is to break it up, save the lives of the people trapped in. Stop deceiving yourselves. Stop speaking grammar, nonsense grammar. Advocating for nonsense. And when we talk about it, you don't make it look like, come and break it. Don't worry. You will just wake up one day, the breaking news will show up on your screen, and you'll be like, I never believed this can happen. No. Let them start their war next year first. Maybe you are preparing for 2023, Abi. And you already but as long as your families will not be directly affected, Yoruba first. That should mean something to you if you are not an Omwale Yoruba. And take that from me. So these guys, you see them, you see what they are doing? They are destroying Nigeria, destroying your communities, destroying your state, destroying your economy, right? Taking away every right that you have, stealing your resources, stealing everything, stealing your tax. And when they are caught red-handed, they will throw in the card of, it's because you don't like the Muslims. Is it because we are Muslims? Is it because we are from the north? Why do you hate us in the north? Are you mad? Why do you hate the south? Maybe we should be asking you that. We should never have any share in any Fulani terrorism. We don't have Fulani in the south. We should never have any share in all of this, destroy the economy. If Bokwari didn't just, shut down our border needlessly, and he opened the northern border for terrorists to creep in, and they envelop the south. We are not Fulanis. Why are we talking about them? Why are we running away from them? Why should we defend ourselves against them? Because we are trapped in Nigeria. What the hell are you talking about? We hate the north. After you got caught up, people get to know that they are being ruled by terrorists. Then all of a sudden, it's because they hate the north. But they want you to kill Nnamdi Kanu. They want you to kill Sunday Igboho to appease them so that you can show to them that you love the north. Are you not mad if you are buying that? Are you not mad? They know themselves. They defend the terrorism. They back it. And you ask yourself, are the northerners terrorists? People already know that many of them are terrorists anyway, because terrorist enablers are as good as the terrorists. Did you understand that? And do you even understand what danger that is to everyone trapped in that place? Evidence abound. The atrocities they've committed, and they continue to commit, because they are in charge of everything. And you, Nema, you are interested in 2023. Oh yeah, now. Maybe 2023 is almost here. If they have not killed you then, if they have not kidnapped you or probably burnt down your village or burnt down your parents and everyone there. And that is why when you are being led by terrorists, at that point, you can demand not to be part of it again. And Yorubas are demanding, we will not be part of it again. But when you see all these Yoruba Abobakus, these Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the Lagos All-Risers, the crump eaters, the ass lickers, the crump chasers, the Buharidins and the Buharididanis, their uncles and aunties, the premium Buharidins and Buhari idiots abroad, the Mumu Madus, the Bele lecturers, right? And the Mumu lecturers. You will all get your share of the whole thing. And let me tell you something, by the way. Yorubas will say no. And even whatever they give to you, you will be consumed by the jihad that they brought to us. Why are we in jihad? Jihad is only war. They are killing, kidnapping, and the people in charge of government, they are unwilling. What does that tell you? That you are still here now, Abi? Maybe if you are even lucky, if they don't even shoot that your Tifnumbu, shoot them down inside his body lawn to let all of you know, say, una no get crazy. You think say you dey mad? We are madder. Maybe by then you realize that we are trapped. For those who have realized it, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep pushing, keep fighting, right? Nigeria is going to break up sooner or later. Take that from me. It is not a wish. It is an act that is going to come to pass. And the person who is going to make that happen are the terrorists in government in Nigeria today. They will not force that Sharia on anyone. And you will not do the geoman job for them, trying to paint a picture of a sainthood, and then you throw in this blackmail of Muslim versus this, Christian versus that, North versus South. Before that war becomes fully activated in 2022, you will feel it and you will push back. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. Okay? Thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to see you some other time. Later tonight, I've got something loaded up for tonight. If you have the time, join me. Good afternoon.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ìpẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Tí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó.